Yeah, today's gonna be a pretty sad video. So apparently, Kingda Ka is closing. I assume most of you already knew that. And if you didn't, hi, hello, this is Kingda Ka. It's gonna be gone forever. I know this news is kind of old. Kingda Ka's been the talk of the town for about 2 months now. But the reason I've been holding off on making a video about Kingda Ka is because I wanted to wait and see if we would hear anything about Kingda Ka from Great Adventure. Literally anything. If it was just an announcement, a tweet, a sign by the entrance, just anything. Fucking choke me, I'm dying here. But that never happened. Six Flags Great Adventure, they're radio silent. And currently, today, the day I'm uploading this video, on November 10th, this is the final day of operation for Kingda Ka. Yeah, this is it. If you don't go out and ride it today, that's it. You'll never ride it. And trust me, you don't want to be one of those losers who hasn't ridden Kingda Ka, because I'm fucking one of them. Yeah, believe it or not, I've never ridden Kingda Ka. I've never been to Six Flags Great Adventure. This is a park I've been wanting to visit for years, but I just never got around to it because I live all the way out in Illinois by Chicago. But I was always under the assumption that one day I can go out and ride Kingda Ka. But now I never will, and I'm kind of sad about it. Even though I have no reason to have any attachment to this coaster, I gotta say I'm pretty sentimental towards this ride. Many of you regular viewers don't know this, but Kingda Ka was actually one of the rides that got me into roller coasters. I remember when I was in the 3rd grade and I was on my family computer and I was just looking at roller coaster POVs because that's all the roller coaster content you got back in the early days of YouTube. But when I saw a video for Kingda Ka pop up in my feed, I thought this ride was the most prestigious and best coaster there ever was. Obviously today I don't think that's true. I think there are way better rides out there, but I can't deny that the tallest coaster in the world at the time was the best thing that my small mind had ever witnessed before. I actually had the opportunity to go to Great Adventure in 2014, but I opted to go to Magic Mountain instead, and now I will forever regret that decision. And now 10 years later, that's it. Kingda Ka will be demolished. There's no denying it now. There are markers all over the area, most of them excavation markers. So Kingda Ka, and to a lesser extent Green Lantern, will be leveled to make room for a potential new expansion. But all in all, am I surprised that Kingda Ka is leaving? Well, not really. There's always been a conversation on Kingda Ka's demolition. It was never a matter of if they were going to remove Kingda Ka, but when. Because the ride, it just has so many problems with it. I'm sure everybody knows that Kingda Ka has its fair share of downtime and maintenance issues. This coaster, like its sister ride, Top Thrill Dragster, it's had a lot of problems. Parts constantly breaking and needing to be replaced, sensors being tripped all day long, endless uptime and downtime. The ride, by definition, is a certified mess. It has so many mechanical issues, in fact, that it needs a round-the-clock maintenance team with personnel on a 12-hour day shift and a 12-hour night shift that is strictly dedicated to keep Kingda Ka operating. And even then, they still can't do it. This coaster has been a never-ending nightmare for Six Flags. And for that reason, I can understand why they're getting rid of it. And quite frankly, I'm surprised it took this long for them to make the call. Apparently, Six Flags merging with Cedar Fair was the right spark to ignite this powder keg and gave them the courage to, unfortunately, pull the plug. I can only imagine that this ride was a never-ending money eater, an open flesh wound that just wouldn't close. Apparently this ride can cost between $1 to $2 million a year just to maintain it. And when you really think about it, I think Kingda Ka is the big reason why Great Adventure never gets any worthwhile additions anymore. Because right after this ride opened in 2005, they got El Toro a year later, and then nothing after that. Literally just crumbs of new additions to keep them going, but nothing would ever again be on the same league as Kingda Ka or El Toro. Yes, you can partially blame Six Flags for this. After 2008, they were never the same company again. But even still, other major parks like Great America or Magic Mountain, they were consistently getting new coasters year over year. But Great Adventure, they were a different story. In 2008, they got the Dark Knight coaster. In 2011, they got Green Lantern, which was just a relocated ride, and now that thing's getting taken out over 13 years later, so that doesn't really matter anymore. And then after Green Lantern, they get what? Joker, a 40 free spin, I don't give a shit about that. It took all the way until 2021 for them to get an original roller coaster again, with Jersey Devil, and even that was to become a cloned ride when Magic Mountain opened up Wonder Woman a year later. And now their next new roller coaster, The Flash, that was just a repurposed roller coaster that was supposed to go to a different park, and oh wait, it's not even opening this year. They had to push it back till 2025. The point I'm trying to make is that Six Flags Great Adventure, they have been getting screwed over for a long time. And I think one of the big components for that has been Kingda Ka. If there was a coaster like Kingda Ka that is bleeding maybe $1 to $2 million every year in maintenance costs alone, upper management, they're going to look at Great Adventure and see that yes, the park is pulling in attendance, but oh wait, the cost of operating this park is a lot more expensive than other Six Flags parks. So if we invest more in this park, the operating expenses could go up, and we may not make back the required attendance to justify this spending. What I'm saying is Kingda Ka alone could possibly be the reason for why Great Adventure constantly gets the shaft. And it took until the Cedar Fair merger for them to say, yeah, this isn't worth it anymore. We gotta get rid of Kingda Ka. Great Adventure is in a great location between New York and Philadelphia, and if it had the correct management, it could realistically get double the attendance it currently sees. But because the operational expenses are so high, that's probably why Six Flags hasn't chosen to invest in this park more. The juice just isn't worth the squeeze. But now that Kingda Ka is closing and that big overhead is gone, there is now a lot more potential for expansion. Not just in capital, but in land. Kingda Ka and Green Lantern, together they take up a sizable amount of space. So once these rides are gone, all of that land will be open. And what do I think they are going to replace Kingda Ka with? Well, a Giga. I don't see any other coaster going here. It only makes sense that you replace a super tall ride with a, shorter ride, but still pretty tall. Cedar Fair, they have always relied on Gigas for their flagship parks. It's kind of their bread and butter. It's a mindset of getting people in the door with a big attraction and then keeping them there with your supporting coasters. And another reason why I know it's going to be a Giga, specifically from B&M, is because, most importantly, they're reliable. B&M coasters have a flawless track record. They are the go-to company if you just want a roller coaster that will barely break down and won't eat away at your operational costs. They're a safe bet, and after a disaster like Kingda Ka, that's what Great Adventure really needs right now. Will it be better than Kingda Ka though? Yeah, I think it will. I've ridden Top Thrill Dragster, and I've ridden Fury 325, and I would 100% take Fury. But even so, even if a Giga Coaster would be objectively better, I'm still very disappointed that the hydraulic launch coaster and the super tall structures of the Strata coaster is almost completely extinct. These kind of rides were a pillar of the coaster wars. They were a true symbol of what manufacturers were able to do, answering the question of how tall can we build roller coasters. Now, even though Kingda Ka's record was going to be broken in only a year's time by Falcon's Flight, the ride is still an icon. It held on to the title of tallest roller coaster for over 20 years. That's an impressive feat, and Six Flags should be proud of themselves. And I can understand if you're mad at the new Six Flags, or more specifically, the Cedar Fair part of Six Flags, since they're the ones who's pretty much calling the shots. I do find it kind of suspicious that Cedar Fair, right after they merge with Six Flags and become the majority shareholder, that their first initiative of this new company is to tear out the tallest roller coaster in the world. It kind of makes you think, are they still salty about Kingda Ka taking away the record from Top Thrill Dragster? Probably not, but the timing is a little weird. But whether you agree with the new Six Flags on if they should take out or keep Kingda Ka, the decision has already been made. There's nothing we can do about it. The only control we have left is to remain optimistic. Personally, I do think the new Six Flags will bring this park into a new golden age, because there is so much untapped potential with Great Adventure. But I just wish they weren't moving so fast in demolishing 3 rides in 1 year. Almost forgot about Zumanjaro. So whatever Six Flags does for Great Adventure going forward, they better not blow it. They better replace Kingda Ka quick, because now that their big flagship ride is gone, they're gonna take a massive hit in guest relations, and people, they are gonna be pissed off, and rightfully so. But to close this long rant video, I just have to say one thing to anybody who is sad about Kingda Ka leaving. Don't be sad that the ride is closing. Be happy that it even opened.